Hello everybody, thank you for stopping by. I appreciate your company. There's so many YouTubers out there that you could be watching, but you chose to stop at my channel and it's appreciated. I know how busy you all are, especially during the summer months. And yeah, so I hope you're all doing well. And I wanted to come on and show you, because I've had so many requests for how I dye my papers, my linens, my sari, my chiffon, everything. So for tea staining is a no-brainer. This is just regular black tea, and I do dye it in the sun or outside because I like it. I just like that color, and it comes out nice and flat. This has not been ironed. So, and then these were done today. These haven't been ironed. I have a stack of them, but I just wanted to show you a couple. These, I love this color. This is actually, well, they're all dyes. This is actually a fabric dye called DHARMA, Dharma Fiber Reactive Dye in Seafoam. And I love this color. It's great for anything that you're going to do French themed because it's that real minty, green that everybody loves, that French blue color. But I'm using it obviously for my sea journal. I'll actually show you what this looks like. Unfortunately, I accidentally printed it on photo paper, but you can see. It still looks the same, it's just, this is on photo paper, which I hate accidentally printing on this because I only print photos on that. Not photo matte, this is the gloss photo. But it still looks the same, except it's a little bit more glossy. But this is what it looks like in the seafoam color, that minty blue color, and this is what it looks like here. Now, for this, believe it or not, this jar, you mix it in hot water. So I boil my water first in my tea kettle, which is an electric tea kettle, but it doesn't matter. And because I drink a lot of tea. And I used first 1/4 of a teaspoon in this much water. And I tested it on my paper. I had many strips of paper. This is just regular copy paper. I don't use anything thicker than copy paper. Same with this. It's regular copy paper. Because it gets, here, it gets kind of stiff. This might be a different lot of copy paper that I used because it is a little bit stiffer. This is very cheap from Walmart. I mean, it's good, but it's not as stiff, I think. Or not as heavy as this. So this might be like a 24. This is a 20-pound copy paper. That's 20 pound. But I like it. It's not too thin. And that's the other side I didn't print on, obviously. Just wanted to show you the difference. I don't know if it's too bright in here so that you're not seeing the mint color. I'll show it here. Let me put it on the white. There. Is that better? Yeah, I think so. I think if I put it on the white, you can see it better. It's really pretty. So it's called Seafoam, and that's what I use on that. And when I do dye my papers, I use a regular paintbrush that you would paint a wall with. But I paint it on, even my tea stain. I lay it out on my parchment paper and I brush it on, flip it over onto the parchment paper, and I brush it on, and then I'll just put some dots of water or whatever to get some color, or I will lay a stencil on it, depending on what I want to do. I'll lay a stencil on it, and then I'll spray some coffee, and that's it. Just leave it. Just make sure you press it down and and leave it, and this will dry, you know, like that. So it's nice and wet. You know, after you tea stain it, it's nice and wet. Then take your coffee in a spray bottle, spray it on your stencil, and I have hundreds. I have so many stencils, it's ridiculous. I don't have any like tablecloths or anything, so I use stencils. And I have no idea where I got all of these, but likely like Walmart or probably Walmart at one time. I have 2 complete bags full like this of stencils. Here's another one that I love. I use this a lot. Obviously you can see it's got some ink on it. I'll have to get that off. I used this recently, but you just lay it on your paper like this and then spray it with your coffee, push it down and leave it. Now, people have said that they've put these stencils in the oven. I've never used my oven to dye paper, so I don't know. I live in Florida, that's probably why, but you can lay it on your floor or near your heaters or whatever and leave it overnight, and you'll have a beautiful paper. I don't have any stencil stained paper available to show you, but they do come out really nice. Or you can just go over your paper with some inks and it will look the same. And it does go through to the other side, but it gives kind of a ghost effect more than one side. So that's how I've done that. That's the paper. So the paper's a no-brainer. It's a bigger brush than this. It's a regular paintbrush. And I just dip it in and just, you know, go over the paper like this, and then I really, you know, put puddles on it and then brush it again so that it really gets into the fibers of the paper. And it's so pretty. Like this, I love these little marks that came out. And as you can see, it goes through the printer no problem. Isn't that gorgeous? It's beautiful. So, you know, in my journal, if I don't want all of the white ones, I can have like a seafoam or a navy or whatever color I want. So let me show you. I've done just a piece of lace in that same color, this, which is this, just to try it. This is a piece of sari, but I left it in too long, so it came out a really dark. This I put in and took out, and then put it in some cold water and got a much mintier color, much more seafoam. And the nice thing is, well, I'll show you some blues. I don't know if that's showing up in the camera, but this has like sometimes your sari, I get white. I iron it, I iron it, I unwrap it all first, and then I put it into like a knitting ball. And then before I dye it, I iron it. And then put it back into a ball. Here's some ironed. Same thing with the chiffon sari. I buy it, this comes this wide, and I cut it, because I never use it that wide. This is it, cut, and then I fray it after it's dyed. Pretty. This is just, oh, I had this on my desk, so I wanted to see what it would look like in the mint. Whoops. So that's what it looks like in the mint. And I put it in, squeezed it, and then believe it or not, I dried it in my microwave. That's a good tip if you're only drying small pieces, or if you're drying seam binding or whatever, and you're only drying a little bit of it, you can put it in your microwave. It'll dry real fast. 1 minute in your microwave. Same thing with the lace. What else? Chiffon. Anything. Here's some more sari that didn't have a pattern on it. This didn't have a pattern on it, but did I bring out my blue? This I dyed with another dye, which I'll show you in a moment, but see how the pattern shows up so much more because it's been embroidered. So it's much darker. So where it's embroidered, where it's not embroidered, it comes out that color, and where it is embroidered, it's just so pretty. So there's that. I dyed that a long time ago, but that was with not Rit. This is with the, which I'm going to show you, tie-dye. That's the best for your money. Although this wasn't very expensive, and you can get it on Amazon. This was suggested by a friend of mine that's a seamstress, because I wanted this color and I couldn't get it. I could not get it right. No matter what I mixed, I couldn't get it right. I have dyed some little pieces of satin. I have tons of satin from wedding gowns. So I just took some pieces just to try it. See? Let me get a white piece. Well, there's white, there's the satin. So I try little pieces first before I go all in. If you're going to do something like this was a long time ago. I actually have a whole roll of it. Anyway, all you have to do is dye it the color you want, and then use your, what's it called? Your marker. Your, my gosh, me and my headaches. I'm just getting over a migraine since last night. Anyway, whatever those markers are called. That's one side. This is the darker side. And what I do, let me get the roll. Excuse me 1 second. What I do is, and you'll be able to see it much more clearly in a bigger piece. What I do is, can you see it now? Let me get a ruler so you can see it better. I go this way with it, dot, 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 dot. So when you're done with it, dot, 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 dot. So when you're done with it, your dots aren't straight in a row. Your dots are more, and it goes through because it's a Sharpie. I knew I'd think of it. So that's how I do my polka dotted sari. And it's the same white sari. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it on, I'll actually leave the buyer I get it from. She's in the United States. But I'm sure you can get it anywhere. Etsy. So let me show you how I get my tie-dyed, sort of, like in my pink journal I just made. We'll do that first. I brought out these white wooden flowers. Believe it or not, they're made out of wood. They're very soft and very light, but they're all white, and I very rarely use them, but I thought I'd try dyeing them and see what happens. I should have brought out my little dropper, and I didn't. But anyway, definitely wear gloves, because as soon as your hands touch that dye, your hands are going to be discolored. Make sure you have, and you know, I do this in the kitchen, but I can't bring my camera into it. Well, I can, but it's just, I don't know how I would set it up, because I have a holder in my craft room, and obviously not a very big desk. That one broke. I think it'll be all right. So these are just disposable Publix brand gloves, and I highly, highly suggest you wear gloves when you use any kind of dyes, fabric dyes especially. So what I do is, this is a puppy pad, which I showed yesterday that I use. I thought that would work. And I don't, so what I do is I'll take the tie-dye and like take this color which says pumpkin. No, it's not. It's coral red. I don't know what that says. This is coral red. So it's more of an orangey. And, well, no, it's about that color. It's this color. But I have to add a lot of water to that color because otherwise it will come out really that color. Same thing with most of the colors. I mix them. And I have a whole bunch of these little bottles that I use to mix. Like that's obviously either a magenta. I mean, I'll obviously try it first. I don't really care what colors this comes out. This is just to show you. I'm going to use whatever colors I have mixed. So I have a little bit of green. Oops. And no yellow left. That's a brown. That might be good for me for right now. Or is that? This might be like a gray color. No, it looks blue. So I'll use the blue. I think this is purple. I didn't really want to mix any more colors right now because I'll be mixing a lot for my journal. That's a red. This is like a gray. This I use, it's like a brown, but I use it for like a tea stain color. It's like, oh, it comes out so pretty when you're doing fall colors. So anyway, let me just show you. I'm gonna add, I might add a little bit of water to, well, no. I'm just gonna show you. So what I do is, I'll take it. Oh, I don't know what color this is. Oh, it's pretty. It's like a blue. This isn't working very well because I'm using a puppy pad. And I don't usually. I use, because it's soaking into the puppy pad. I'll use the other side of the puppy pad, maybe. Yeah. Because then it won't soak in like I don't want it to soak in. I do this on the parchment paper as well. And it gives it a real nice effect. It doesn't, you know. So I just kind of do this. And then I'll do a little bit of this, whatever color it is. And then I'll do a little bit of this. I'm doing way too much. Way too much. But I'll also run it in to each other's color. This will be perfect for my journal I'm doing now. Can you see? Now, the RIT is also very concentrated, so this has a lot of water. So I'm just gonna go here and here. Doing a very good job on camera, but I think you get the point. And then just run it into each other. It's really puddling up on this. So I'm gonna do a little bit more red. And a little bit more blue. And you can leave some white areas if you want. A little more red. And a little bit more blue. I'm holding it up because it's puddling so much and I don't really want it to get on the sari. This I'm going to go this way. use some white. Oh. Get some off there. I have never done this on camera, obviously. But isn't that pretty? And then, yeah, so if you're doing it in your kitchen, you have much more control. I had no idea how this would work here. I'm gonna leave some white areas. Now you can put this in some cold water if you want it less, you know, lighter, which I think it's fine for me. I'm wiping my hands on an old towel. Boy, I used a big piece. Let me cut this, otherwise we'll be here all day. Scissors. Excuse me. I didn't do a really good job, but you know what? I'm just gonna do this. See what happens. And then take it and dip it in some water. And I may have just turned it all blue, but that's okay. Because you can go over it, you know, with other colors if you want. I did. Turned it a lot blue. So what I'll do is now take this, turn it back over on this side. I am so sorry, I just hit the camera, I think. Turn it over on this side and get a little bit more red in there. Because the blue obviously took over the red, because it's actually not blue. It's black with something in it. I'm not sure what color. There. Now I'm going to do the same thing, but I'm not going to put it in water. And once that dries, I think it's going to be really pretty. I'll show you in one of the videos. You'll see it in my C journal anyway. But that's how you kind of do your tie-dye. But on your counter, you've got so much more, and on parchment paper, you've got so much more easier with your colors to kind of get where you want it. This isn't working on the puppy pad at all. Not the way I do it. But that came out fine for me. It's like almost like a navy blue. I'm gonna stop touching it. Get my hands dry. And it doesn't make this kind of mess either. So anyway, doing it outside on a long table works really well, because by the time you get to the next piece, this is dry. So I don't know if that's showing up in the camera, but it's really pretty. So I'm just gonna leave this over here on my mat to dry. Or actually, I am going to put it on a towel to dry. It'll dry faster. I have my fan on high. And maybe it will be dry soon. All right, let me fold this up this way. So that's the using the tie-dye, and you can use this. You don't have to mix the colors. You can make one color, whatever color you want. But what I do to get it the right colors I want, I take just a tiny bit of each color of the tie-dye and put it in a plastic cup and just keep adding the water until I get the right color. And I have a whole bunch. I have more of the empty ones. And then once the color, I'm done with that color, I'll just rinse it out real well and then put it back in my drawer. And you get all of these fantastic colors. Black, red, coral red. This pink, oh my gosh, you have to add a lot of water to that. Otherwise you get a really dark pink. And I'll show you some of those. Well, let's dye some with, I'm not going to use this because look, it turned it purple. It's a pretty color. Actually, I think I might try and see what color that turns this. That is so pretty. So yeah. No, I won't rinse this because it's a really pretty color. I like it. So that was with the purple, or well, with the blue and the red. When I put it in the water, well, no, I'd have to leave it in there a little bit longer. That dye's not real dark color. The dye's not real saturated because it's just a rinse water. So it didn't dye it really at all. But we'll leave it in there, see what happens. So I have, I'm going to go back to this color, which is the seafoam. I can actually take this off and show you. Well, I already showed you the blue. I showed you everything already, I think. Doesn't matter, my hands are sweating and I need to put on different. Some of that color, see, it's squirted and I got on here, but that's okay. I still might be able to use it. I'll put it over here. And these are all tested, you know, test pieces anyway. I didn't rinse any of these. I just put them in, took them out, squeezed it, put them in the microwave. I know that sounds ridiculous, but I was in the kitchen and it's an easy, fast way to dry it if you don't want to bring everything out to the sun. I have a whole huge roll of this ribbon that somebody gave me. She didn't want it. Thought I could use it somehow, some way in my slow stitch. But it's all the same color. If you could see the size of the roll, you would die. I mean, it's huge. Where is it? I didn't leave it over there. Here. It is huge. Huge, huge, huge. It's like a spool of, I don't know, it's a spool. So I thought I would try it and see what it looked like on this ribbon. It's like a grosgrain. It's a beautiful ribbon. As you can see, I should be using my fabric scissors. What did I do with that roll of ribbon? I wanted to show you how huge that roll of ribbon was. Oh, it's right here, right beside me. Guys, look at this, 2-inch full roll. I don't know how many yards, it doesn't say, but it's polyester grosgrain, so I don't know how it will dye. The polyester sometimes just takes a little bit longer. Sometimes, it depends. I'm gonna shake this up. So always shake it before you use it. I keep mine in ball jars once I get the color right. And that way I know that that color is gonna work for my paper. It's mostly for my paper, so. I better put on another glove, just in case I touch it. I'm not trusting these puddle pads very much. And I don't know if this water is gonna dye this. No, it's not. It's still the same color. So that's good. We'll use it in something else. I have a couple of things I want to test, just so you can see. And you can fast forward if you would like, or if you get it, then you can turn it off. Yesterday I went way too long, and I am so sorry. So I'm going to try this ribbon, which got a little bit of the red on it, but that's okay. I'm just testing it. So, well, that worked really well without leaving it in there too long. I'm not going to rinse it. I'm just going to leave it. Well, actually, I think I have to leave it in there another minute or so, another few seconds. Yeah, because it's polyester, so cotton takes a lot less time. This, anything like this, it's in and out. Like the chiffon. Fabric scissors. Chiffon especially is very quick. Sari, same thing. Yeah, that still needs a minute. So now you'll know how long to keep things in. This is going to take 1 second. It's like in, all depending on how dark you want it, and out. Squeeze it real good. This is the chiffon sari. So anything you have that's chiffon, squeeze it real good. And then, how pretty is that? And then you can just leave it so, and not iron it. Or you can press it again, depending on what you're going to use it for. I'm probably not going to iron that because of my journal and the theme I'm going for. Isn't that pretty? Let's do the regular sari. Seam binding, same thing. It takes 2 seconds. But I don't have any, well, I do have more white seam binding, but it's in a huge roll and I'm not going to get it right now. I don't want all the same color in the journal. I'm going to do this whole piece, why not? And I think I want to keep some white in there, so I'm not going to leave it in there too long. I'm just going to take it out, squeeze it. And like I said, if you're only doing a small piece, pop it in the microwave. Now see how some of this, well, you might not be able to see, but some of it's lighter than other areas. If I wanted white in there, I would use my dropper. I have an eyedropper, and that works really well to do like the tie-dye effect. That's pretty, which I've already done a couple of different pieces of sari, depending on how thick it is, the sari, and how long you leave it in. This sari. I have some of this polka dotted tulle. It's in a huge like sheet, like a huge piece, so I'm just gonna try. Oh, that came out real pretty. That didn't take long. And look at it. Oh, so pretty. That did not take long. You know why? Because the little dots are velvet. So the dots took real well, real fast. I do have some netting. Where is it? I cut a piece. Oh. Well, that's taken a long time. Probably because it's the polyester ribbon. Where is my netting? I can cut another piece. No, here it is. That will probably take a few minutes because that's synthetic too. So anything synthetic takes longer. I think it kind of stuck to that. Did it? No, it probably went to the bottom. I had a bigger piece. I'm gonna try this. Where is that bigger piece of netting I cut? Oh, that's not it. It's like netting that you use for mosquitoes. And while that's in there, I'll just get that netting and we'll be done. I want to see how it comes out. It was for camping. And take this out before it gets too dark. This is that mosquito netting. This ribbon's taken a while, guys. Just so you know, because it's polyester. Oops, lost it. Hence bringing out your tweezers, Cheryl. Oh, that's pretty. Now that didn't take long at all. I think I'd leave it in there a little bit longer. Let me squeeze it and see. Now, there it is. I think I'd like it a little bit darker. This, I'm gonna pop in again. And just put it there. And this, I'm gonna pop in again. Now they do sell dyes for polyester. Rit dye has a polyester dye. So if you're dyeing polyester, I'm going to pop that in again. It's not as dark as I would have liked. But Rit does have a dye that's for polyester. So if you have like a polyester lace or something, you can do that. And that's it. And like I said, the seam binding, same method. I'm going to try and dye that flower, that wooden flower, see if it falls apart. It's very, very lightweight, and it's made out of wood. And I forget where I got them. I got them a long time ago. Before my days of this. This is my days of flower arranging. But I never tried dyeing them, so I'm trying now. Oh, pretty. And they come in all shapes. Oh, pretty. Put that there. Try a different form. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. It's kind of a mishmash. Oh no. I bet with the inks, these flowers would die fast, but I don't mind waiting. I could actually put them in a little dish with the dye and let them soak. But it's working. It's just taking a little bit of time. And I'd like to keep some of the white. This needs to go back in because it's synthetic. The mosquito netting. What else do I have in there? Oh. This piece of ribbon. Like it. I love that color. That's in that color, and it was white. See, that's the white. This will probably take a few minutes because, I don't know, mosquito netting's probably plastic. I don't know, I'm just thinking. Let me get these two out of the way. And I'll just leave it there to dry like that. And that is using fabric dyes. Okay, so, and in your kitchen, I'm sure you'll have a much easier time. And if you're not on camera. And just make sure every time you use it, on paper, oh my gosh, it's like 2 seconds. You know, brush it on or dip it in, however you do your tea staining. I like to brush it because it gets really into the fibers well. And yeah. So that's today's video. I hope that gave you, those of you who wanted to know, I hope it gave you some good ideas as to how to make your polka dotted, and then I just wrap it around cardboard or a card. And then this is this, but ironed. And there's some blue that I did with the tie-dye. This I did with the tie-dye. Just got the right color by, you know, by dipping it until I got the right color. Oh, the paper, which I will not put down. I'll show you this side. Okay, so there you go. And let me get that other piece of sari. Maybe it will be dry. Yes, it is. Now I didn't do the tie-dye, but it is a couple of different colors. I wasn't able to here. My hands are shaky and I did put it in the cold water, but it's still really pretty. You know, imagine a ruffle. I love making ruffles with the, what is this, the chiffon? No, this is the regular sari. But I love using this for ruffles because they're very lightweight on your paper. Pretty, right? I think it's real pretty. Couldn't tell you what colors I used, but they were already in there from the last time I did whatever color I did. I didn't mix them. So I'll leave that there. And here's mint on like a lightweight linen. Use the same as this, the seafoam. This will only take a second to dry. This is the plain mint. This is the chiffon. You saw how long I left it in, only a second. Here is some lace, real pretty. And the netting, which is just about dry. All right, everybody. I hope that was informative. That was my intention. Inspiring especially. And I will see you in the next video. Until then, be well, be safe, be kind, and God bless. Love you all. Bye.